Hello. Today's video is going to be about home defense weapon selection, subject that I'm often asked about. And I'm going to give you the short answer, then I'll give you my explanation for each. Probably my first choice will be a 9mm semi-automatic handgun, followed by a rifle, AR-15 and 5.56, and probably a distant third would be the 12-gauge pump-action shotgun. Let me give you my reasoning for each. The 9mm handgun is something that I have on my person a good part of the time, so it'll be what I have on me or in my immediate reach. Also, I kind of go back and forth between the handgun and the rifle. I really like the AR-15 for home defense. It has a lot to do with my particular home layout and family living situation, and where they're located throughout the house, and where's a threat likely to present itself from. I have a lot of open spaces that will lend itself well to choosing the AR-15 and really offering a pinpoint accuracy over a 12-gauge shotgun, which has, if I'm shooting from one end of the house to the other through the hallway, it's 25 yards, and the spread of the double-light buckshot and even though generally shotguns give you a reasonably tight pattern, you always have one or two flyers, which could have unintended consequences. Where with an AR-15 at 25 yards, it's really the risk of shooting someone who you don't want to shoot is going to be much lower than if you use a shotgun with a spreading pattern with multiple projectiles. And the shotgun's projectiles are much harder to control, whereas an AR-15 projectile is much easier. So the handgun will give you probably 15 to 17 rounds. The AR-15, depending on if it's an AR-15 pistol or a regular 16-inch gun, will give me anywhere from 60 to 90 rounds. So let me explain. On my AR-15 pistol, I have two coupled magazines that I use for that particular setup for home defense, with the red dot, and that gives me 60 rounds on the gun. Whereas if I use the 16-inch gun, there's a couple magazines, and then there's an extra magazine on the stock itself. So that's 90 rounds on the gun. And then the shotgun is, maybe on a 20-inch barreled tactical pump action shotgun, typically 7 rounds plus 1, so you get 8 rounds. You may have on a shell carrier 6 extra rounds on the gun. So it's probably the heaviest, largest, longest in length gun, and least round count, lowest round count of everything. So, and also given its projectile spread at certain distances, more likely to have collateral damage or unintended consequences over a pistol or a handgun. And for my particular home, it's a single story home where I have, the longest shot is 25 yards it's 75 feet from the back door to the front door through a long hallway. And that's where everybody is most of the time. And that's where people are going to congregate, is in the hallway as they come out of the rooms into the hallway going, hey, what's all the commotion about? As a person will probably try to kick in the front door or the back door or possibly the side door. They're going to be in this wide open space of, this long hallway from the front door to the back door as it opens up into the kitchen and living room, which is one big room. So there's a high likelihood that any defensive shooting is going to be at a distance in a wide open space. There's as much probability of that as there is it being, I'm going to have to go through a doorway or through a smaller hallway into a bedroom, door, to confront a threat or take care of a threat. The threat's going to more than likely be in a larger space. So I kind of go back and forth between from the handgun or the rifle. I really like the rifle. But the handgun is going to be, what I have on my person, what I have on me, my EDC. It's what I have next to the nightstand. I also have the rifle next to the nightstand. So I guess in the heat of the moment, whatever I decide to pick up, but I'm okay with either the handgun or the rifle. The shotgun to me is as devastating as it is my least favorite, and I feel that it gives me the least amount of what I'm trying to accomplish. What I'm trying to accomplish is taking care of the threat as I'm shooting in my house at a threat, trying not to shoot people who live here, who are supposed to be here. I don't want any collateral damage, and I feel a handgun and the rifle give me the best option of doing that. Especially the rifle, because I can control the rifle. I can control where that bullet goes far more effectively than with a handgun even. Not that I'm such a terrible shot, but I'm a better rifleman than I am shooting at pistols. So it's just a comfort level, a confidence, I don't know, call it whatever you will, that makes me choose. In a perfect world, I would never need either, but if I had to, I think I would go with the rifle. And yep, ultimately, most likely to have a handgun, would prefer the rifle. That's my answer. So, yep, that's it.